I chose for my dramatic reading an excerpt from the book If You Only Knew by Jamie Ivey. I decided to do a reading from this book because it's very conversational in tone. Jamie Ivey actually has a podcast that I've listened to for a few years, and I just feel like she speaks the way that I speak in real life. I didn't want to do anything that felt rehearsed or like I was reading to you. The Bible is jam-packed with great stories. Stories of real people who really walked this same real earth we walk on. They had good days and bad days. They loved people and disappointed people. The women had emotions and hormones and periods that probably came on with a vengeance and made them crazy for at least 3 days every month. They most definitely had kids who wouldn't sleep through the night when all their friends' kids would. The men had egos and pride and wanted to punch something when they were mad. Who am I kidding? The women probably did too, right? The stories in the Bible showcase great decisions being made, like when Mary humbly trusted God with an unbelievable secret. And then they show us a lot of poor decisions being made, like, good gracious, Peter, did you really need to cut the man's ear off? But if I was forced to pick another story as one of my alternate favorites, it might be the one at the end of the book of Joshua, where this heroic leader of Israel reminded the people what God had done for them. Following the death of Moses, God had chosen Joshua to guide the conquest of the Promised Land. And not long before his death, Joshua brought all of the tribes together with all of their leaders and spoke the words of God to them, laying out the whole timeline of their history in brief detail. He started with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, followed by their descent into slavery in Egypt. After this came Moses, of course, who led the people out of bondage and across the Red Sea into safety, followed by 40 years in the wilderness before finally experiencing their promised victories. But let's be honest, if you know your Old Testament history, you know not all of their days were good days. A lot of Israel's history had been littered with fear and failure, with pettiness and forgetfulness, with pain and loss. The Bible, as part of the proof of its authenticity, doesn't bang the drum for how unbelievably perfect the nation of Israel was. These people God had chosen to be known by his name. Truth is, they fell down an awful lot. And the Bible is hardly shy about that. It's not always a pretty picture.